What's happening, everybody? Bob Wankel here talking college football playoff odds at Saturday Down South. Championship weekend almost here. Have Alabama, Florida in the SEC championship game, Clemson, Notre Dame rematch in the ACC championship game, and a ton of other football games with huge playoff implications. Want to take a look at the odds heading into the weekend here over DraftKings Sportsbook and FanDuel Sportsbook. And though the price is different, both sportsbooks agree that Alabama is the overwhelming favorite heading into this thing, minus 143 at DraftKings, minus 125 at FanDuel. Bottom line is this. Alabama has the luxury of not being in a must-win situation. They're the number one team in the country. They can probably withstand a loss, even though it would be a huge upset loss to Florida this weekend in the title game on Saturday night. So you do get a little bit of an insurance policy, whereas you would have to take Clemson to basically run the table, win the ACC championship game, win the semifinal, win the final. Alabama can afford a slip-up this weekend, most likely. So that's something to keep in mind if you want to back the Crimson Tide in this spot. You can get the better price at FanDuel Sportsbook, minus 125. As for Clemson, you can make an argument that even with a loss to Notre Dame, that Clemson's one of the four best teams in the country, but I don't think that you can make that argument to the committee and be successful. Clemson loses for a second time to Notre Dame. I'm sorry, Trevor Lawrence, no Trevor Lawrence. Doesn't matter. There's no way with the competition on the outside looking in currently that Clemson can withstand that second loss to Notre Dame, this time in the ACC championship game, and still get in. So they're definitely in a must-win spot this weekend, but obviously you have this great quarterback, a team with great pedigree, and there's a reason to like Clemson, even though they have to go 3 for 3 here down the stretch to win it all. Ohio State, really interesting case study for me. Plus 300 at DraftKings Sportsbook. This is a team that, if they take care of business, is a 20.5-point favorite against Northwestern in the Big Ten championship game. They will win the Big Ten championship having played only 6 football games. How does the committee put in a team that has only played 6 games? I don't know, but that number indicates to me that they're going to do it. I'm not an Ohio State hater. I'm not a Big Ten hater. But I'm telling you, that number tells me that odds makers are fairly certain that if Ohio State rolls against Northwestern, they're going to get into the field. Notre Dame, interesting case for me as well. Like Alabama, I think that Notre Dame can actually withstand a loss this time to Clemson in the ACC championship game. They'll still have the win over Clemson earlier in the season. They also beat a really good North Carolina team as well. And I know that some people are not going to agree with that. I know some people are going to be pretty angry about that. But the bottom line is, I believe that Notre Dame has a strong enough resume that even with a loss in the ACC championship game, so long as it's not a 60-0 loss, probably has enough juice to still get into the playoff. Teams like Texas A&M, Cincinnati, probably going to be rooting hard for Notre Dame this weekend. Not Clemson out with 2 losses. Would love to see Northwestern pull the upset, get Ohio State out of there. That probably does open the door for the undefeated Bearcats, who, if they beat Tulsa in the AAC championship game, will be 9-0. Some people would like to see that Cinderella type of team get in. I doubt it happens. I do believe that Texas A&M, even though they're not even playing for the SEC championship, would be the next team in at plus 2,000. I don't think that they're consistently good enough on the offensive side of the football, though, to make a run if they even get into the playoff. For me, who am I picking? I'm rolling with Alabama. I think that they take care of business. I think they'll be at least a touchdown favorite in every matchup in the college football playoff. So I know it's chalk. I know you got to pay a little bit, but I would be rolling with the Crimson Tide if I were picking a team to win the national championship ahead of conference championship weekend.